welcome to The Bridge. And today we are talking about doing business the God way. So I am actually a businesswoman. I run a communications consultancy firm, and I started my business at the age of 23. And at that point, I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what business was all about, but I just knew this is what I wanted to do, and this is what, I needed to do straight out of campus. And so I had to shadow a group of business people just to get a hang of what business is like, how it should be done. And so what I got to learn straight out of the gate is that, for you to run a business in Nairobi or in Kenya, you have to know people in organizations, you have to, give cuts, you have to buy tea, you have to, the language is unimaginable. And so for me, that was a norm. It was normal that even if you go to an organization and you get work and someone does not ask you, for money, you're wondering you're almost volunteering to give them something, so that the odds work in your favor. And that was such a comfortable place, because once you have someone in your corner, then you're more or less guaranteed that, you will get the business. You have an advantage over everyone else who is, expressing interest in that particular service or product that you want to offer to this particular organization. But then when I started, moving back to God and just trying to understand God and having a personal relationship with Him, then, I started feeling some type of way when you're doing this. And it was a conviction, more or less, about whatever it is that I'm doing that is not right. And it had scriptural backup. So let's just quickly go to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 6, that says, "Better the poor whose way of life is blameless than the rich whose ways are perverse." And then just quickly to Proverbs 21:3, that to do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. And I was sure that what I was doing was not right. It wasn't a favor. You are paying in exchange for information. You are paying in exchange for favor, basically. It was wrong. It was illegal. It was dishonest, and it wasn't right, and it didn't sit well with me. And at that point, I decided to turn my life around as far as that area of my life was concerned. But also during that period, I came to the realization that God was nowhere in the picture, because I was not trusting in Him in any way. I was putting my trust on a man. And, if I had the money to pay this person, then this person would be able to deliver this and this and this, and I'd be comfortable. The way business is so unpredictable, sitting comfortable, knowing that you can predict, there's nothing as amazing as that. If you're in business, the unpredictability can drive you insane. And then just getting to learn that I am being disobedient to God. I am displeasing God by not trusting Him fully. I decided to turn my life around. And that wasn't easy, because you're coming from a place of, I am comfortable here, this is what I know, to delving into the unknown, trusting in God. And there are all these people who are coming and saying, I can give you this if you give me this, and you have to stand firm and say no. And people are looking at you like, are you crazy? And I have been in such situations where people actually ask, are you crazy? Do you not have a family? Do you not have things that you need to take care of? What kind of a person are you? Or, the way they say, pesa siyo ya mama ya mtu. So let's eat this money. It's coming. It's not, no one is suffering if we eat this money. And just coming to that point and having to trust God. And I have seen God fight for me in situations where I had totally put my trust in Him, where you get into an organization, you express interest in something, and you do not know anyone. But later, when you get the contract, you get to learn that there was a fight. Basically, there was war. There's a group of people who are against you, but there was also a group of people who do not know you. They don't even have an idea of who you are, but they just stood up for you and fight for you. And in that moment, it's not you. It's not because you're amazing. It's not because you are better than these other people, but it's because you have God on your side. And ever since I just started trusting God, people, me, I think I am comfortable. I am not stressing about the unpredictability because I have laid down everything to God and God is taking care of it. So is it possible to run a business the God way and still succeed? It's possible. Sometimes it might feel like you will miss out on a lot of things, but it's good to trust in God. I always say that God sees farther than we can. He sees the end from the beginning. He sees, you know, our eyesight is probably just limited to here, but He can see farther than that. So isn't it easier and wiser to put your trust in Him than in yourself? You know, you're probably thinking, oh, if this job is really good, oh, I want this job, then you get this job and you don't know what will happen after that. But God, who is the author of good. God, who is good, His nature is good. He knows what is good for you. And once we learn to be totally dependent on God, then He gets to reveal Himself. He gets to He gets to release His blessings upon our lives. So it's tough, it's not easy, it's Kenyanese, it's what everyone is used to, that if you go somewhere, if you want to get your passport, you have to pay someone. If you want to get your driving license, you have to pay someone to fast track the process. How about we just do things the right way, the God way, and see God bless us, because it's disobedient to God. Remember, the book of Proverbs says that an honest person, a just person, God favors that more than sacrifice. So imagine you can sacrifice, I don't know, you were unjust getting a job that's worth 5 million, for example, and you decide, oh God, I'm going to give you 1 million. No, that God does not honor that kind of a sacrifice. So I think most of us are probably in that situation. That's what we know, but it is possible to do business the God way. And learning to trust in God 110% bears fruit. So guys, my challenge to you is, you who is in business, you who is sitting at the office and dealing with these business people, you who's on the road and the cop stops you and needs, you know, a bribe, or you who needs to get into a government office and get a service and you want to fast track that process. My challenge to you is, how about you do the right thing? How about you say no when everything around you is screaming yes? How about you stand up to be a person of integrity and a person of honesty? And what we need to understand, and what we clearly understand here at The Bridge, is that honesty and integrity has a price. It doesn't come cheap. It means you will miss an opportunity. It means, you know, a lot of time will be wasted. It means a lot of things, really. And we need to get to a place where our relationship with God is bigger than any opportunity lost. Our relationship with God is bigger than any time lost. So let's be those people. Let's be those Christians. At The Bridge, we're about changing the narrative. So my challenge to you is, let's change the narrative.